Tēnā koutou katoa ko Claire Theoloa Aho, and I look after the GIS in Schools program for Eagle Technology. Today I'm going to take you through how you can source data for your lessons in GIS or for GIS. And there are a number of websites that you can go to find spatial data from around the world or in New Zealand. So let's zip into a browser and just see if we can have a look at these. So the first place I'm going to show you is something called the Living Atlas of the World. So this is where you could find data for all around the world or just specifically in New Zealand. The Living Atlas of the World website, you can see the URL sitting up there at livingatlas.arcgis.com. And you can search in the search box for anything that you might be interested in. So let's put in here, migration. And with this migration search, you can see that it brings back all sorts of information from around the world about migration. So there's looks like an interesting web mapping application for refugee migration. There looks like there might be another useful web mapping application there called a story map, which looks at the migration of 50 million people from their homes, biggest migration since the Second World War. And you can see there's a variety of other items there, and they just keep coming up as we scroll down. So that's the Living Atlas for the world. I'm just going to type in here, I'm going to remove what we've got there with migration, and I'm going to type in New Zealand. And you can see that we have some New Zealand data sets here as well, mostly around the census, the first ones, but you can see we've got some topography, we've got some imagery, early childhood sections, we've got a schools directory, and a few other bits and pieces going on here. So it might be worth having a look there for some authoritative New Zealand data as well. So that's the Living Atlas of the world. The next page that I'm going to show you is a New Zealand government page, and this is data.govt.nz. And you can see that you have a couple of options here for searching. I suggest that you search data sets, and this will give you a list of all spatial data as well as other data sets that are available from New Zealand government agencies. Now, the data might not necessarily be available via a website. It might just have contact details for the person to contact who has the data available or could get you the data. So let's have a look at climate change and see what we have as far as data sets are concerned. And you can see that we've got a little bit of information here about data sets. Now, you'll notice that some things it just has CSV underneath it, other things it has this SHP, map info file, and a few other items listed beside it. This is actually spatial data, so it's data that you can use inside of ArcGIS. So that's the sort of data you're looking for when you search this catalogue of New Zealand data. The other place that you can go to find New Zealand-wide data is the LINS Data Service. Now, this specifically has information about New Zealand data that Land Information New Zealand provides. So it has aerial photos, it has Crown property information, has elevation information, it has things like road names and address points and things like that in there. And you do your search up the top here and you add a layer to your map. So let's say we go for contours. And you can see you've got a little plus here. So you just add it to your map and it draws it on the map. Now, on my map currently, I have some Auckland LiDAR data, which I'm just going to turn off for a moment so you can see what the contours look like. So if I zoom out, you can see that I have contours for all of New Zealand sitting in there. At a scale of 1 to 50k, they're probably 20 metre contours rather than anything more detailed than that. If I want to download this information, I can crop out the area which I want to download. You can see I was particularly interested in Mangere this day, and you can see that I've got a box crop that allows me just to download the contours for this particular area. And then I can click download or order. Now, to be able to download from this website, you do have to have a free login, which is really easy to create. And then you have the option to choose what you want to download. Now, I'm just going to remove the LiDAR data from my package, so I'm only downloading contours, and then I can say accept terms and create download. I always make sure when I'm downloading from this website that I'm downloading in a map projection called New Zealand Transverse Mercator, or the other option for this is to look for the World Mercator, so WGS 84 World Mercator. You can download in that as well, and that can work in ArcGIS Online. I do tend to download as a shapefile just because shapefiles are easy to load into ArcGIS Online. Sometimes you can't find the data that you need on a national scale, so you may have to look at a more local scale. And I'm just going to show you what's called an open data portal for GIS, and this is the Wellington City Council Open Data Portal. You can see its URL up the top there at data-wcc.opendata.arcgis.com. You can search in here for data for Wellington. So I'm just going to type parks in here and see what comes back. And you can see that I have a number of items that come back here. Let's just go into Wellington City Council Parks and Reserves and open that up and see what that looks like. Now you can do the same thing that you did in the LINS data set. You can download as a shapefile, or then you also have these APIs that are going on. Now I can copy this URL here and I can add that as a web source in ArcGIS Online. And last but not least, another website where you can get spatial data. This again is for all of the world, and it's an open forum, so sometimes the data might not necessarily be authoritative. It's called Coordinates, so coordinates.com, and you can add, and it works very similar to the lins.data.govt.nz site. You can add things, you can download things into coordinates.com. And actually, the same username that you use on the LINS website works on coordinates.com as well. So that's just a little bit about where you can source data for projects from. If you have any question about sourcing data for your projects, please don't hesitate to contact me. My contact details are there on the screen. Or if you would like an ArcGIS Online account and don't have one currently for your school, you can contact GIS in schools at eagle.co.nz. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the New Zealand Board of Geography Teachers and Eagle Technology for putting in a bid to get money from the Ministry of Education for a geography network of expertise. If this bid hadn't been successful, this video probably wouldn't have been created. So thank you. Mā te wā.